Hey, how's it going, YouTube? How y'all doing today? I was well, I woke up an hour late this morning. My grease gun broke. I had to go to work. I was running around looking to get everything done. I did go get a chisel plow yesterday. I found one for $450. I got it delivered for $50, and I just got done chiseling the field. And that thing, it did phenomenally well. That chisel plow did incredibly well. These cattle are just eating some dinner right now. I ran out of the other grain, and the feed store only had this stuff. So, yep, my grease gun broke this morning. As I was trying to get everything, as I was getting everything greased, I just ran out of grease, stuck another tube in it, and I just could not get the airlock to go. So, I think the plunger on it broke. I looked it up on the internet. And this grease gun that I got has 2 stars out of 5, so I just tossed the thing. And I got a new one, and I got it going within 5 minutes. Got everything greased, got everything chiseled. These cattle are looking pretty good. It looks like as of right now, I'll be drilling seed this Saturday. As of right now, we're supposed to get a little bit of rain tomorrow. Then we're supposed to get a little bit of rain this evening. Just a little bit. It may be a 1/4 inch combined. So I'll have to see. It looks like I'll be drilling seed on Saturday. This guy, well, these animals are starting to really pick up on gaining weight. These animals, well, until they get to their maximum size, it's really hard to put a lot of weight on them because they, well, they keep growing into their size. So if they put on weight, they'll just get bigger. If they, oh man, almost got ran over by Princess. Came in like a little steam train right there, a little freight train. Hey. She running around back and forth. It's getting dangerous. But these animals, they when they're smaller, it's harder to put weight on them because they'll look a little bit fat and then they'll just get big. They'll get taller, they'll get longer. They'll just grow. They'll grow into their weight. And so it's real hard to get these small animals fat. But once they get about this size, they start really picking up on eating their food. Like if I put a big old bale of if I put like a whole lot of grass in front of this guy, he'd eat it. He'd eat a lot of it too, man. So he has the capacity to put on a lot of weight. Like these cattle right here. Once they get to about this size, they really start getting big. They start getting big quickly. And so these animals, they're doing good. Well, I'll be it looks like as of right now I'll be drilling seed. Heifers, they just kind of gain weight a little bit slower. From what I've seen, who knows, but from what I've seen, a heifer will gain weight slower than a steer. That's just from what I've seen. Like if they all get yep, that's just from what I've seen. The steers, they seem to have a bigger just a bigger body. In general, the steers have a bigger body. Like this is Princess right here. She's one of the larger heifers. She's always been one of the largest heifers, and the steers are way bigger than her. I mean, the steers are way bigger than her. And so, yep, the heifers, they just seem to grow a little bit slower. That's just from what I've seen. But yep. Oh man, I really want to pick this. They threw this little container on the ground. Hey Bubba, hey Bubba, hey Bubba. Hey. Let me in. Excuse me. Hey big boy. Hey. Okay. All right, they've already cracked it, but who knows? I leave their little salt block in it. I leave their bloat medication block in it, so I'm still able to just kind of pick it up. So rather just keep that. Okay. Hey. Whoa, she got her head stuck in this bucket. Okay. Here I come. Here. There you go. Let me have it. Oh, now she wants to keep her head stuck in the bucket. Okay. Hey. Slow pokes out front because he was bloating up real bad. He thought he was getting to come out front to eat free food. I actually put him up front and then kept him off the food because he's just been bloating, and so he got his bloat medication yesterday. He's looking a lot better. Yep, I got everything chiseled real good. This field's been chiseled up real well. Well, let's go take a look at the chisel plow. But this chisel plow, this, I bought this for $450, and the major reason that I bought it is because it's, well, I like the frame on it. The frame is, the chisels are kind of, some of them are more worn than others. Like this one, it's already off the ground, so I probably gotta flip that around. If I want to keep using it, I gotta take these bolts off and flip this around so that it goes a little bit flatter. But the rest of them seem to be, this one's starting to get pretty worn too. But this right here, this is the chisel plow, and as you can see, everything is made out of square tubing. This is practically indestructible. Practically indestructible. And well, like anything here, well, okay, so for me to realistically break this plow, this frame, the frame of this plow, by essentially shearing force. So shearing force meaning if I dropped the plow into the ground and I pulled it as hard as I could and it kind of rubbed up against the ground real hard, the chances of me breaking this plow are like closer to 0 than 1. If anything, I would break a pin, and I can always replace a pin. But these pins, I mean, they are I got the hardest, I got a grade 5. I got a grade 5 pin. I put grade 5 pins in this thing, and so the chances of me breaking this plow is closer to 0 than it is 1. And so, yep, I bought this, and I know that I've been saying that I'm looking for a plow with sweeps on it, but I did buy a plow with chisels on it just because I really like the frame on this thing. The frame on this thing is practically indestructible. I can't hardly, I mean, if I was gonna like say something that I legitimately believe could break the frame of this plow, it would be something like lava, or like dropping a 10,000 pound rock on it from 50 feet up in the air. And so this thing, it ain't gonna break ever. I mean, and if anything is gonna break like on here or something, and a welder can fix this, 0 problems. So the frame of this plow, it ain't gonna break. It'll be around my entire life. It'll be around probably for hundreds of years. I mean, this thing, it ain't gonna break, ever. Ever. I mean, it just ain't gonna break. And the thing I liked about this plow is that the plows are on here, they're connected on here with these U-bolts, and they're clamped on with these metal plates. And so if I want to put more plows on this thing, the only thing I have to do is pull these U-bolts off of the plow, and I can get these plates, I can remove these plates, and then I can just stick as many plows as I want on here. I can even stick them on the front right here if I felt like it. And so, yep, it does have one broken chisel right here, and it's got a spare on the front right here. And I don't really care too much for this this thing. It was put on here to hold more weight on it, but I'd rather have a well, the previous owner had I thought that this was a spare, but they actually put this plow up here and then they stuck a plow on it so that they can it's essentially like having a plow right here, except for they put this extra weight on the back of it. And so I can put cinder blocks or sandbags or anything I want on the back of this thing, and it'll push the plow down harder. But yeah, this thing is indestructible. I mean, the realistically, if I were going to break this thing, the frame of this plow, not like a chisel head, but if I was going to break the frame of this plow, it would, I mean, it would take such a drastic amount of effort that I wouldn't be breaking the plow by pulling it through the ground, okay? Like it would take some serious force to break this thing. I mean, this is straight square tubing. Straight square tubing. Everything made out of square tubing. And if I want to replace like a plow head, all I need to do is take off a couple of U-bolts, and I can just stick a new plow head on there. So if one of the plow heads break, the only thing I need to do is replace a couple of bolts, get a couple of U's, get a couple of these U's. And so I really liked the frame of this plow. And it is made here in Texas. Made here in Texas a long time ago. And so I really liked this plow. I liked the frame of this plow. I didn't care too much for the plow heads or for the chisel heads, but it's fine. The chisel heads, I did find one that chisel heads. Well, I would still prefer sweep heads, but I ran the chisel plow across this ground, and look how flat I got it. I mean, the ground is exponentially flatter. The ground has just gone. It ain't completely flat, but the ground is extremely flat compared to what it was yesterday. I mean, it busted up these ridges real hard. I mean, look, you can kind of see where the chisel went through the ridge, and it busted up these ridges real hard. And so the ground is still pretty it still got bumps in it, but this ground is way flatter than it was yesterday. And that chisel plow just ripped through this ground. And the cool thing about this chisel plow is that it actually takes less horsepower from my tractor to run the plow than it does to run my big moldboard. My big moldboard, if I had that thing on if I had it on about 1700 RPMs on second gear, my turbo would be whistling, and I could feel the plow dragging behind me if I had that plow dumped into the ground. But this chisel plow, if I have my tractor on 12 to 1500 RPMs on second gear, the whistle, the turbo doesn't even whistle. And so it pulls that plow through the ground like it's, I mean, it pulls the chisel through the ground easier than the moldboard. And so I got it all, you can see the chisels, where the chisel went through the ground, but it busted up the ridges real hard. And so the ground is pretty much flat. The ground is way flatter than it was yesterday. And you can see where the chisel came through this ground. And so, well, it's supposed to rain a little bit tomorrow. It's supposed to be about 1/4 inch combined. And so it ain't gonna be enough to rehydrate the ground. But I'm hoping, well, I ain't hoping, right? Well, what I'm gonna see, it looks like I'll be drilling seed on Saturday. And so here in Texas, it isn't uncommon to see somebody with a field of Bermuda grass pull 3,000 pounds of Bermuda grass per acre with 0 irrigation. So there are a lot of fields out here of hay fields, as grass fields, that don't have any irrigation on it. And it isn't uncommon to see these people pull 3,000 pounds an acre, three big rolls an acre, 3 times a year with just rainfall and natural weather here in Texas. Here in this part of Texas, in this part of Texas, it isn't uncommon to see 4 to 5 big bales of Sudan grass per acre. A lot of people pull 4, 5, sometimes even 6,000 pounds of grass 3, 4, 5 times a year with 0 irrigation. And so, well, okay, so the reason. Well, I mean, okay, so if it made sense to grow corn here in Texas, I'm sure people would be doing it. But I think that one of the big reasons why a lot of people grow grass here and raise cattle on grass here instead of corn is because our grass just grows so well. Even if I don't have irrigation, I can produce thousands, I mean, like over 10,000 pounds per acre of grass. If it's something like an annual warm season grass. If it's a perennial like a Bermuda, I can still pull like close to 10,000 pounds an acre on an average year with 0 irrigation, just letting the grass grow on its own. And so this grass, my whole big thing, my big reason for why I think personally it just, well, grass, I mean, okay, so corn is grass too, right? But corn, if I was gonna grow corn with 0 irrigation, the corn would not be good corn. The kernels would be small. The kernels would not have set well. It would not be good corn. Corn needs to have a lot of water. It needs to have a lot of fertilizer. It needs to have growing corn. It takes I mean, like if I was gonna realistically look to grow a lot of corn, I would need irrigation. I would need to put a lot of fertilizer on that land. And I mean, corn is, I mean, our grass here in Texas, like the amount of effort, the amount of grass that I can produce for the amount of effort is just drastically in favor of me growing grass. Like I don't need irrigation to grow grass here in Central Texas. Every person here who has cattle runs them on grass. Like I don't see a single feed yard. Everybody has them on grass. And so it isn't uncommon to see 3, 4, 5, or excuse me, 3,000 pounds an acre of Bermuda grass. It isn't uncommon to see 4,000 to 5,000 pounds of Sudan grass per acre, per cutting. And so if I get 3 cuttings, that's like 15,000 to 20,000 pounds of Sudan grass per acre a year. Well, I mean, you know, yep, I mean, our grass just grows like that. As long as it's managed properly, the biomass that this land here in Texas naturally produces is just tremendous. And so, I mean, it doesn't make sense for me to grow corn. It doesn't make sense. The thing that makes the most sense is to grow like something like a Sudan grass or a Bermuda grass. If I wanted to grow a permanent pasture, I would just grow Bermuda grass. But I got the land chiseled up. You can actually see that the chisel plow scooped this right up like this. But the ground is way flatter. The ground is just tremendously flatter than it was yesterday. So this ground, as soon as it gets some, I'm actually not even tripping on the soil anymore. So that's fantastic. That's how smooth this ground is right now. Flat this ground is right now. If we just get some rain on this, it will smooth this soil out. And granted that for me to get this field real flat, it'll take a couple of years. It'll take a couple of times of me chiseling the soil and me disking the soil, and then having the rain push the soil around to get it real flat. But as of right now, I'm doing tremendously well. As of right now, this looks phenomenally good. It's a lot flatter than it was yesterday, and so it looks like, yeah, I'll be drilling grass on Saturday. My goal is 4,000 to 5,000 pounds of Sudan grass per acre. That's my goal. And now that I have a chisel plow, well, if I need to, after I get 2 cuttings off of the Sudan grass, I'll take a look at the regrowth rate for the 3rd one. I'll take a look at the weather conditions, and I may just chisel the old grass out of the ground and then just re-drill Sudan grass and get 2 more cuttings in the later part after summer. But I'll have to see. But I know that the camera doesn't really do it justice, but this ground is way flatter. Very good. That chisel plow, it still flattened the ground. I mean, it flattened it out real well, phenomenally well. And so that was a $500 very well invested. And at the end of the day, well, I mean, I got my paycheck and I got to get my mortgage paid and everything here in a couple days. So yeah, I got a lot to do in terms of my finances. But yep, everything looks very good. This chisel plow completely flattened my field. Well, it didn't completely flatten it, but at this point, if I get some rain on this, it's gonna flatten it out real good. And then next year, if I chisel it one more time, disc it one more time, and then it rains on it, and then I do that one more time after that, this ground will pretty much be flat. But yep, that chisel plow put less of a strain on my tractor than that mobile plow did. That mobile plow, when I dump the plow into the ground, if I'm not, I need to keep the tractor at about 1800 RPMs in 2nd gear, just over halfway throttle to drive that plow. But this chisel plow, you know, I can run it at 12 to 1500 RPMs, and the turbo won't even be whistling. The only thing is if I'm trying to turn the tractor, I need to give it more gas, or the tractor will have a difficult time turning with the plow dragging through the ground. And so but all this got done. Everything got done. Everything got real flattened, real flattened down. And so, yep, I'm very happy with how this is looking right now. I'll be able to drill. Well, it depends on how much rain we get here. Need to get some rain to compact the soil back down. And then yep, then I'll be able to drill the seed. But so far it's going very, 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 very well. I just happened to be able to find that plow too. Right when I got some money, that plow just happened to be on the market, and I took a look at it, and I was like, man, I'm gonna go buy this thing. And I went to go take a look at it, and I was like, this is exactly what I'm looking for, because the thing is practically indestructible. There is zero realistic way for me to break the thing other than just like taking it to the top of a building and like a skyscraper and dropping it. Even if I ran over the thing with my truck, it wouldn't even break the frame. And so, I mean, I would have to do something very, 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 very unique to break that plow. I mean, it's straight, like extremely thick square tubing. So, but it also worked extremely well. So, yep, I got about 2 days until I'll be drilling this field. I got to see how much rain we're going to get, and if the ground compacts down and I get enough moisture in the soil, I'll drill that Sudan grass. The fertilizer's been done, the ground's been flattened, I plowed everything over. And, well, the goal is 4,000 to 5,000 pounds of Sudan grass per acre. And I'm going to be doing it zero irrigation, so I'm not going to be using any irrigation. Just the natural weather here in central East Texas is going to be all I grow the grass in. And a lot of people are going to be very, 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 very amazed when they see how good our grass grows here. I've seen, well, I mean, there are a lot of people that grow grass, and I've seen some amazing grass farms here locally. Within a half an hour drive, I can go take a look at 5,000 acres of grass if I wanted to. And so I've seen a lot of very, 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 very good grass farms, and with zero irrigation, and the grass is doing phenomenally well. So our grass grows very well here. As long as I do my part, this grass is gonna grow. It's gonna grow. It's gonna grow. It's gonna grow. All right, that's it for me today, YouTube. Have a good one.